Hey guys, back for week 2, open workout 20.2. So let's take a look at it. We have 4 dumbbell thrusters. That's pretty cool. Been waiting to see that in the open for a while. That's a new move. 6 toes to bar. That's a very kind rep range. 24 double unders for 20 long ass minutes. So let's get to talking about it. That is a long AMRAP. All right, 20 minutes right away. We need to be thinking even more so than last week about setting a very aerobic pace, being very robotic in the way that we move through multiple rounds. Your first 5 minutes needs to be the same pace as the last 5 minutes. If you're getting hunched over near the 10-minute mark, you went too fast and you just did not do this workout right. And if you feel really good at the 15-minute mark, you're going too slow. It's not a feel good workout, but it's also not a sprint through the rounds, even though the reps look so low. Like, you're going to hit the first few rounds of this workout and you're going to be like, oh, I'm crushing this. But there's a lot of time here. All right. So it's really about finding that pace that you know you can stick to. We'll talk a little bit about that later. So the small reps will make the rounds seem easy, especially in the beginning, like I said. And it's going to be similar to a Mary type workout. Mary is 5 handstand push-ups, 10 pistols, 15 pull-ups. So if you guys watch that at the games this year, like the rounds just start clicking and clicking and clicking, and they go by really fast. And what happens is right away the breathing starts pretty high, and then that muscular fatigue builds up over time. So keep that in mind. Really important as a warm-up. You want to start this workout hitting the ground running. Like, your heart rate needs to be about as high as you want it to be in the workout. You don't want it to spike up, especially on double unders. That's a move where the heart rate really gets pumped up. So make sure that when you're about to start this workout that you're ready to go. You're not kind of cold or super calm like you're ready to watch TV or something. In terms of scores, for most of you guys, even if you have decent proficiency in any of these moves, in all of these moves, so thrusters, toes to bar, and double unders, if those aren't really issues for you in these rep schemes, you should be looking at like 15 towards maybe 18 rounds. And I know that's aggressive, but I'm just talking top end here, right? If we pace it perfectly and we've kind of got all our transitions down and stuff, that's where we should be looking. If we're getting closer to, you know, 10 to 12 rounds, either there's a movement that's limiting us, or we didn't pace or kind of gave ourselves too much time through transitions. So don't get glued to that, right? Everyone's different. It's hard to speak for everyone and their individual strengths and weaknesses and whatnot, but just kind of keep that as a ballpark. There's going to be, top athletes are going to be getting 25 plus rounds in this workout, but there's going to be athletes that can do single toes to bar and they're going to spend a minute doing toes to bar. So don't let that be you. All right. So let's go through all of the moves. Double dumbbell thrusters. So we've never done this move before in an open WOD. If you've never done it yourself, it's a pretty challenging move, but for 4 reps, we can get through it, right? It's almost going to feel like touch and go squat cleans in terms of just kind of that breathing, or even heavier thrusters. So even though the dumbbell weights, 50s for guys adds up to 100, 35s for women adds up to 70, it's going to feel more like a 135/95 thruster because the dumbbells move independently of each other. All right. So you're going to want to place your hands towards the end of the dumbbell and have the bottom head of the dumbbell resting on the shoulder on the way down. If the dumbbell starts to creep down in your front rack, there's going to be a lot of extra arm work that you just don't want, a lot of extra grip work that you don't want. So make sure you're nice and upright. Hips are nice and loose, really coming straight down and up. Personally, unless this is one of those moves you really struggle with, this is a do not break up. The reps are too short, and if you break it up, you're basically doubling your reps because you have to pick it up again, right? There's a lot of time there. So yeah, have fun with this. Definitely try these moves before. Try the thrusters before you get into that WOD, so you kind of get a rhythm and a groove for it. I would, instead of standing them up after the first rep, almost do like a a bicep curl into the bottom of your squat clean and press that first one out, right? If you kind of have the core strength to do that, that'll definitely be the most efficient way rather than standing them up, setting them up, and then descending. Second move, our toes to bar, all right? So again, if we're decently proficient here, these shouldn't be an issue, right? You should make sure you set your dumbbells up pretty close to the rig that you're going to go to. If the rig's a little high for you, put a mat underneath it so you can do a quick jump up. If you're using grips, I would suggest not putting your fingers in the finger holes, just kind of letting them lay over top. And don't be afraid to break this up into 2 sets immediately, right from the beginning, right? So just because we can go unbroken here doesn't mean we need to. I would say unless you have 20 unbroken toes to bar, this should be a set of 4 and 2 or 3 and 3 right off the bat and all the way through, okay? If you can do 10 or more, I would say you should be able to hold on to 3 and 3 the entire time, or 4 and 2. If you're less than 10, then maybe we want to break it up 3 times. And when we're talking about breaking it up, it's a pretty short break, right? So we'll do 1, 2, 3, kind of drop down, turn around, and let that be your rest. Pop right back up and get your next 3 in. Don't rush through this move. Make them as smooth and rhythmic as possible. You don't want to be getting that core on fire too early. Double unders, nothing really to say there. 24 reps, you shouldn't have to break them up. Kind of go through them, pick up that rope and go. All right, so just a couple more quick things. Here are some things that you have time for in this workout. All right, you have time to set your dumbbells down after every single thruster set. You have time to use grips and kind of rotate them. You have time to set down your double under rope after every single set to make sure it's kind of where you want it for the next set. You have time to count rest between your rounds. So if you are having or want to really keep pace with yourself, I'm going to do a round every minute 10. You know, like count how long you want to transition between each move rather than just going when you feel good, because the workout's not going to feel good as you go through it, and as you get longer, you're just going to end up giving yourself more time, which we don't want. And a couple double under trips won't kill you, so don't get frustrated by them, right? Don't try and rush through them. Again, nice and smooth, nice and robotic all the way through. Here are some things you do not have time for. You do not have time to drop the dumbbells from the top of your 4th thruster rep and chase them around the room. So make sure you're bringing them down to the shoulder and right to the ground for the next set. You do not have time to walk long distances between your moves. Don't set your dumbbells or your rope up in the middle of the room and then walk across to the rig on the other side. All right? You're giving yourself extra rest and you don't need it. You don't have time to bend over and feel tired in this workout, right? That's why it's so important to kind of pick that pace that you can do and start hitting the ground running, right? You don't want to get to that 10 or 11 or 12 minute mark and be like, shit, I got 8 minutes left. Oh, I'm going to hunch over and feel bad for myself. Like, the amount of reps that you're going to give up doing that is going to add up so quickly. So let's just say that takes 5 seconds in your back 10 reps. Back 10 minutes, sorry. That's 50 seconds. That's probably a full round, right? Which is 36 reps, 34 reps, something like that. And lastly, you do not have time to chalk up every round, okay? The reps are too short. Pre-chalk your bar, pre-chalk your dumbbells. If you're going to get sweaty, like me, wear some sweatbands around your wrists. Yeah, so if you know what kind of pace you can hold, I'd say go out a little more aggressively than you want to. 20 minutes might kind of seem a little bit scary, but that aggressive pace can pay off a little bit later on if you can maintain it. If you're not sure of your pacing or how you're going to score in this workout, then definitely start conservative. And if you get to that 12-minute mark and you're like, yeah, I feel good, then kind of push the pace a little bit more. All right, good luck, guys. It's going to be a long one. Lots of breathing, lots of reps. Let's get after it.